What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It's Daniel, and welcome back to the video. Today, I'll be doing my 2024 NASCAR Cup Series playoff predictions. Let's go ahead and just jump straight into it. Going into this year, there's a lot of drivers in this year's class that got in with some very surprising wins. We had a lot of surprising winners make it to the 2024 NASCAR Cup Series playoffs. Today, we're going to go through all four of the rounds, talk about who I think will get eliminated each round, and then I'll tell you who I think will be your 2024 NASCAR Cup Series champion. So anyways, let's go ahead and just jump straight into it. Let's begin by talking about the round of 16. The round of 16 will take place at Atlanta Motor Speedway as race 1. The second race will be at Watkins Glen, and the final race of the round of 16 will take place at Bristol Motor Speedway. The first driver I think will be eliminated in the round of 16 is Harrison Burton. Harrison Burton has struggled for the majority of the 2024 season. And while he did get that very lucky win at Daytona, he's only scored one other top 10, I believe, throughout the whole entire season. He's only had about 5 or 6 top 20s the whole entire year. His best shot to make it to the round of 12 will be at Atlanta Motor Speedway because we know the Penske cars or Penske affiliated cars have been pretty fast on super speedways this year. I just don't see Harrison Burton making it past this round. Unfortunately, I think he's going to get caught up in a record incident. He did finish in 11th, if I remember correctly, earlier this year at Atlanta. But unfortunately, I think Harrison Burton will not make it past the first round. I just don't think the pace and speed has been there. I think Harrison Burton is the first one to get out. The second driver who I think will not make it past the round of 16 is Austin Cindric. Austin Cindric has had an okay year this year, but generally has struggled. He got that pretty lucky win at Gateway. Yes, he did have a really good race, but he's only had 4 or 5 top 10s so far this year and is currently sitting around 18th or 19th in the regular season standings. On top of that as well, he's just struggled at most other tracks. Now, that being said, he was pretty fast at Atlanta earlier this year, and he's a pretty solid road course racer. I think he's got a couple opportunities to potentially make it to the round of 12. The problem is the lack of playoff points. He has that win, and I think he's only had 1 other playoff points so far this year. He only has like 6 playoff points going in here. I just don't see him beating the other 12 who I have advancing through the first round. So unfortunately, I think Austin Cindric also will be eliminated in the round of 16. The third driver who I have getting eliminated in the round of 16 is Daniel Suarez. Daniel Suarez has actually had not a terrible year so far in 2024. He did get that lucky win at Atlanta Motor Speedway, but to be fair, up until the last couple of races, he's been really turning the corner. He had 4 or 5 races where he finished inside the top 10 and top 15, and he had one of the best average finishes in the last 6 or 7 weeks. Unfortunately, I just don't see the pace and speed being there from Trackhouse. It's not just Daniel Suarez, but I feel like Trackhouse Racing has been down to performance all throughout the season so far, including with Ross Chastain. I think Suarez does have a chance in Atlanta, and Watkins Glen could be a sleeper track for Daniel Suarez to make it past the first round. Unfortunately, though, for Daniel Suarez, I think he sadly will get eliminated, and I unfortunately do not believe that Daniel Suarez will be able to advance to the round of 12 in 2024. And now we get to the final driver. Usually there's a surprise driver who does end up making it or ends up getting eliminated in the round of 16. I think you're going to get kind of a surprise for this year. The last driver who I have being eliminated in the round of 16 is Martin Truex Jr. Martin Truex Jr. started the year off very, very strong. But the reason I have him being eliminated is because Martin Truex Jr. since June has only had 2 top 10 finishes. On top of that as well, in the last 11 or 12 or 13 points paying races, his average finish is 24.6. There is no speed. There is no consistency from the 19 team in general right now, and I just don't trust him. When they have speed, Truex makes a mistake. And sometimes they just don't have the pace and speed to contend. They've had engine failures, among other things. I think that, unfortunately, is going to cost Martin Truex Jr. a shot at making it past the round. Unfortunately, I think he could win Bristol because he was really good there in the spring. But he hasn't had the speed at tracks where I thought he was going to be very, very fast. So, unfortunately, I think Martin Truex Jr. will not make it past the round of 16 in 2024. So that is the round of 16. Now let's move on to the round of 12. The round of 12 consists of Kansas, Talladega, and the Charlotte Roval. The first driver who I think will be eliminated in the round of 12 is Chase Briscoe. Chase Briscoe picked up his first win in over 2 years at the Southern 500 last night, and I think Chase Briscoe will be able to make it past the round of 16. However, because of the lack of playoff points and sometimes the inconsistency from him, I just don't see him making it past the round of 12. That being said, you can never count him out at a track like Kansas. He's been decent at that track in the past. And Talladega and the Roval especially, he's a pretty solid road course racer. So that's going to give him, in my opinion, the chance and opportunity for him to maybe make it to the round of 8 and be the shocker to get that far. But unfortunately, I don't see Briscoe making it past. I think he'll be solid, but I don't think he'll be spectacular. I think Briscoe, unfortunately, gets eliminated in the round of 12, which will be solid for Stewart-Haas Racing. The second driver we'll have getting eliminated in the round of 12 is Ty Gibbs. Ty Gibbs started this year off very, very well. He was one of the few guys that was finishing in top 5 and top 10 on a pretty consistent basis. However, Ty Gibbs has just really fallen off a cliff in consistency and performance. Now, he did get a couple top 5 finishes at Daytona and Michigan, which will help him a little bit, and he has been really good, especially at tracks like Kansas, and has been pretty fast at the Roval in the past. I believe finishing 2nd or 3rd last time he ran there. I just don't trust the 54 team. They've had engine failures. They made a lot of mistakes on pit road. They've cost themselves a lot of track position, and they're basically coming in as the 15th seed in the playoffs right now. He doesn't have a lot of playoff points. So I think Ty Gibbs could be in a little bit of jeopardy, unfortunately, and unfortunately, I don't think Ty Gibbs will make it past around the 12 this season. The third driver who I have eliminated getting into the round of 12 who I think will be eliminated is Alex Bowman. Alex Bowman has not been awful this year by any stretch of imagination. I feel like he has bounced back from 2023, but Alex Bowman has had a lot of inconsistency recently, and Alex Bowman has not led a lot of laps. He's only led 14 laps so far this year. Bubba Wallace has led more laps. Shane Van Gisbergen's led more laps. I think Corey LaJoie's led more laps this year. Drivers like Chase Briscoe have led more laps. He just has not led a ton of laps. And really, the only Hendrick driver that's led a ton of laps is Larson this year. But Alex Bowman needs to lead more and get more stage points and needs to finish better. He needs to be leading, and I just don't see that speed from Bowman. I think he sadly will get eliminated in the round of 12 this year. And the final driver that I have eliminated getting into the round of 12 is Joey Logano. Joey Logano has been very inconsistent so far in 2024. While he's had some really good runs, like where he finished in the top 2 at Richmond, 1 at North Wilkesboro for the All-Star race, and of course 1 at Nashville, this 22 team just doesn't have the raw pace and speed to contend, in my opinion. I think the 8 drivers in front of him who are making a pass have been better objectively than Joey Logano so far this year. Logano's not been bad by any stretch of imagination, but he hasn't been great either, and it just feels like he's kind of in this slump right now. Yes, he got that win at Nashville, but I just don't trust the 22 team currently at the moment. I think Joey Logano will have some decent pace. I think his best opportunity is going to be Talladega, all things considered, but other than that, I just don't know if Logano is going to be able to make it, and sadly, because of the inconsistency that Joey Logano's had this year, I think Joey Logano will not make it past the round of 12 and will get eliminated in the round of 12 this year. So now we move on to the round of 8. The round of 8 consists of Las Vegas, Homestead, and of course, Martinsville. Let's now discuss the round of 8 drivers. The first driver who I have eliminated getting in the round of 8 is Brad Keselowski. Brad Keselowski, I think, making the round of 8 is going to be very, very impressive. And Brad, in my opinion, has been very solid throughout the year. And there's a few races I think back to where he probably should have won. He was close to winning the Brickyard 400 earlier this year, and he's been the best RFK driver so far. I just think because of the lack of playoff points and not having a chance there, I think it's going to cost him a shot. I think his best opportunity is going to be Las Vegas. He was very fast there in the spring. Well, he's been consistent there in the spring. And I think Brad will have a good chance and opportunity to go out there and get it done. But you got to worry about Kyle Larson. Larson's been super impressive at that track. And I think that we will see Brad Keselowski, unfortunately, get eliminated, sadly, in the round of 8, simply because of the fact that I think he just won't have enough points to make it through. The second driver we'll have get eliminated in the round of 8 is William Byron. William Byron last year was the fastest car overall, and early in this year, he probably was the fastest car, won 3 of the first 10 or 11 races of the year. However, William Byron, since the Coke 600, has only led at 1 race this year, that being at Michigan. and I just don't trust the 24 team right now. We know historically they're really good in the playoffs. They're kind of like a playoff team, but they're not really having that mojo right now. They're just way too inconsistent, in my opinion. They don't have the consistent pace and speed to be up there like the top 4 in the championship, I think, are going to be. I think he's going to have a shot because I think he could win in the playoffs this year, but Byron's been a little inconsistent, unfortunately, for me to make it to the championship 4. He's been good. There's no denying that, but he has not been great. I sadly think he will get eliminated in the round of 8. The third driver who I have got eliminated going into the round of 8 is Denny Hamlin. Denny Hamlin, in my opinion, had it not been for that massive penalty, I think he would be in the championship 4 because Denny Hamlin has been very, very fast this year. However, Denny Hamlin, like I mentioned, about a week ago, right before Daytona, on Thursday before the Daytona race, he got a massive, massive penalty that cost him a lot of regular season points and cost him around 10 playoff points as well. Denny Hamlin is going to lose, in my opinion, because of that. I think Hamlin could win. I think there's a chance he could win Homestead, obviously. He's probably going to be fast at Vegas, and we know he's very good at Martinsville. But Denny Hamlin's also been inconsistent at these tracks in the past as well, which unfortunately I think is going to cost him a shot and opportunity to make it to the championship 4. I think Hamlin will be good. There's no denying that, but I think just because of lack of playoff points and not being as fast at times and just not having that mojo right now, I think unfortunately Denny Hamlin will make too many mistakes and sadly will not make it to the championship 4 in 2024. And the final driver that I have eliminated going into the round of 8 and it will not make the championship 4 is Chase Elliott. Chase Elliott, up until about 3 or 4 weeks ago, I had him in the Final 4 because Chase Elliott had been super, super consistent. However, the 9 team has just not had the same consistency. And while they've been around 9th to 10th to 11th, they've had a lot of finishes outside the top 10 as well. And Darlington, they were just not fast at all. And they've been making a lot of mistakes. They've been having pit stop issues. They've been getting penalties, which they normally don't get. It's been affecting Chase Elliott in a big way. Now, Chase could obviously go out there and win Martinsville. He was very faster and led laps in Martinsville, if I remember correctly. He's also at times been pretty good at Vegas and has been good at times at Homestead as well. But I just feel like for Chase Elliott, he unfortunately will not make it past this round, sadly. I just think it's going to be way too close. I think he's been worse than the 4 guys in front of him, unfortunately. I think he's going to be good and solid, but unfortunately, I think Chase Elliott, because of the lack of speed recently compared to the top 4, I think Chase Elliott, unfortunately, will not make it past the round of 8 and won't make it to the championship 4. So now we move on to the championship 4. Let's talk about the 4 drivers who will be racing for a championship this year, in my opinion, who I think will be your championship 4. The first driver I have going to the championship 4 is Kyle Larson. Kyle Larson did not win the regular season champion by 1 point, but I think he's been the fastest guy so far in 2024. He has 4 wins. He's basically second in top 5s. There's 11 or 12 top 5s. He's led over 1,000 laps, the only driver so far to do that this year. I believe he's the only driver so far that has 10 stage wins so far. He's dominated a lot of races this year, and Kyle Larson is really good at most tracks in the playoffs. He's been historically good at Bristol. He's very good at Vegas, very good at Homestead, very good at Kansas. I could see Kyle Larson going on to win 4 or 5 of these races. I think Larson will easily make it to the championship 4 because of the speed he's shown. And again, this 5 team's been the fastest overall team. He probably wins the regular season championship if he doesn't make mistakes. And that could affect him. There's no denying that. But I do think that Kyle Larson, regardless, I think the pace and speed is going to be there for him this year. And I think Kyle Larson will make the championship 4 in 2024. The second driver I'm making the championship 4 this year is Tyler Reddick. Tyler Reddick was that driver who went on to win the regular season championship, and Tyler Reddick has been lights out so far this year. Tyler Reddick has an impressive 18 top 10s and 12 or 13 top 5s so far this year. His average finish is under 10th, I believe. He's been so impressive this year. He nearly won the regular season, basically got it done, and Tyler Reddick is really good at a lot of tracks. Very good at Vegas, very good at Homestead, very good at Kansas, very good at tracks like Talladega. There's really no weakness for Tyler Reddick. And I think if he gets to that championship 4, watch out, because I think the pace and speed is going to be there for Tyler Reddick. I think he's got a really good chance and opportunity to get it done and to get to that championship 4 this year. The third driver who I have making the championship 4 in 2024 is Christopher Bell. Christopher Bell's been inconsistent at times, but this 20 car, when they're on it, they are on. Bell's won 3 races so far this season, and he's just been so impressive throughout the whole entire year. He has been by far the best Joe Gibbs Racing driver on consistency at times. The only issue for Bell is the inconsistency. He's had some races where he's finished outside the top 30. Well, he's won 3 races. He's had 8 finishes, I believe, 30th or worse this year. That being said, I think he's going to overcome it. Bell won in Martinsville 2 years ago. He had a fast car at Vegas last fall here. He was very, very good at Homestead. In fact, he won Homestead last year. So I do think Christopher Bell has a really great chance and a strong opportunity to get some wins. And I do believe that Christopher Bell will be able to make the championship 4 in 2024. And the final driver that I have making the championship 4 in 2024 is Ryan Blaney. Ryan Blaney, it was between him and Chase Elliott getting in the championship 4. But I think Ryan Blaney, unlike Chase Elliott, I think Blaney's been a little bit faster recently. He won at Pocono, he won at Iowa, and I feel like there's been a few missed opportunities for the 12 team. He probably should have won Gateway after Bell had his issues. He probably should have won other races like maybe Nashville, for example. Was really fast at the Brickyard earlier this year. Had a fast car in Daytona and was pretty fast at Richmond early in the race as well. I think Ryan Blaney, especially with Martinsville being there, you never can count him out. He won the last fall race at Martinsville, and I do think that Ryan Blaney, because of that pace and that speed that he's shown, I think Ryan Blaney will be the final guy who will be in your championship 4 in 2024, in my honest opinion. So that is the playoffs. Now let's talk about who I think is going to be your champion and driver who I'm picking to win the 2024 championship. Now, the last 2 years, actually the last 3 years, I think the last 3 or 4 years, I've picked a Hendrick car to be the champion. I think maybe I picked Denny Hamlin or Brad Keselowski to win the 2020 championship, but I'm not picking a Hendrick car this time around to win the 2024 championship. The driver who I'm picking to be your 2024 NASCAR Cup Series champion, I'm picking Tyler Reddick to win this one. Tyler Reddick has been really, really fast. He's been the closest driver to Kyle Larson all year. And Tyler Reddick has been very good at Phoenix. He finished in the top 3, I believe, in 2022 in the spring. He had one of the fastest cars in the race earlier this year. I think Tyler Reddick and the speed that Toyota showed here was very impressive. I think Tyler Reddick will be your Cup champion. I think Chris Bell is going to be the second finisher. I think Bell is going to have a really good chance and opportunity, especially on the long run. You can never count Bell out. Larson, well, I think he's going to be fast. He's not going to be as strong. The Hendrick car is a little inconsistent. And Ryan Blaney, I don't think he repeats. I think we're going to have a new team winning. I think 23XI Racing, after all they've been able to accomplish, seeing all this stuff, having Kurt Busch there to help them, Bubba been solid at times, and maybe Carlos in the future. But I think that Tyler Reddick will be your 2024 NASCAR Cup champion. He's my pick to win the 2024 Cup championship. So, that is going to be today's playoff predictions video. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, notifications on, and if I win a video, does go live on my channel. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and support my Patreon as well. Listeners will below that and comment your thoughts on today's episode and your predictions. Tell me your 2024 NASCAR Cup Series playoff predictions, who you think will be the champion. Let me know it in the comments below. There won't be more videos more likely dropping today on the channel. Tomorrow we're going to have a NASCAR news video most likely on the channel, and we're going to have Xfinity Series race picks for Atlanta. Thursday, we're going to have race picks for the Cup race in Atlanta for the Quaker State 400, and we're also going to have the Penske video most likely dropping as well. Got a lot of great content dropping this week that I cannot wait for you guys to check out as we head to Atlanta Motor Speedway and begin the playoffs. So anyways, like I said, I want to thank you guys watching today's episode. I'll see you guys next time for more great, awesome NASCAR content and other motorsports content on the channel like this. Might have a Haley Deegan or SVG video dropping this week. We'll just have to wait and see. So I'll see you guys there for all that great content. Take care, everybody.